so well into the British Council. You could imagine those kind of class accents saying, brilliant writing, sir. That sort of nonsense. And then came this bizarre book which looked at cricket, but not with the usual lens of horrible devotion that we bring to our gods in the subcontinent. So what was the origin story of Chinaman?
British Council, probably, because that's where
Bless their hearts.
And that's where I read Graham Greene, and there was Hemingway there, and I would read Sri Lankan authors as well. And the great names you mentioned, there was slightly less well-known names from decades previously. And what I noticed about the Sri Lankan fiction is it was all trying to sound like Englishmen who lived 50, 100 years before. But then I guess I was lucky to be starting to write in the 90s, because suddenly there was a path. I guess my father's generation, being a writer was something a certain type of person did, and not the type of person you'd want to be. But I think in the 90s there was the pathway. But as you mentioned, there was Udachi, there was Gunasekara, Shehan Karunatilaka, quite a groundbreaking book, Funny Boy. But I take dispute with Karl Muller in that same category, because it was good to see Ramesh Gunasekara, a very unmistakably Sri Lankan, long-winded name on prize lists and in bookshops. And I tried writing like that, as you do when you're young. So I tried writing like Ondachi. I also tried writing like Salman Rushdie, as we all did. When Ubuntu came out, I tried writing those kind of sentences. And of course, ended up failing. Tried being Gabriel Garcia Marquez, ended up failing. But then I discovered Karl Muller. Now, Karl Muller is probably the lesser known out of those names mentioned.
Oh, Sanaboy and Donaboy. If you haven't read about Sanaboy and Donaboy, you have to go out and find those books immediately. They'll be available on the road at Fund.
Yes. So, Odachi, Gunasekara, there were writers who were in London, in Canada. Karl Muller lived in Candy. He used to write this kind of bawdy column in the papers, and to see him with that penguin logo in the bookshop, that was a moment. But also when I read it, so it's basically about the burger community. So I guess you would identify with the...
Absolutely, something like my family.
Yes, it's your people, yes, the burger community were, I guess, the only minority in Sri Lanka not to have a separatist movement, probably. They were descendants of the Dutch, the Portuguese, the English, and a lot of them were exiled by our politics in the 50s, 60s, but this family who were getting drunk, getting into fights, sleeping with each other's spouses, and one thing that, and I think the first one is a masterpiece, deserves to be up there with Running in the Family and Funny Boy. I think that was a revelation to me, because I thought, okay, look, I can't write as elegantly as Odachi, or as beautifully as Gunasekara, but I can certainly try writing like a drunken uncle. And I think that's what Karl Muller told. And so when I discovered this, discovered the story, I had stories in notebooks. And this was the idea that what if the greatest cricketer, who was a cross between Shane Warne and Murali, who was better than both of them combined, what if he was just unlucky enough to play for Sri Lanka in 85, or 75, or 65? And that seemed like a decent premise for a short story.